Somebody who is cool and socially savvy and charismatic and somebody that is respectable within our social world is usually somebody that gets the girl. Making women think you're cool is not necessarily about changing yourself. It's actually about finding out your strengths and positioning them in such a way that she can see the value in what you have to offer. Women are drawn to men who are driven and have a mission and are highly charismatic. They live a high status lifestyle. Starting off our list, number 1, leverage social proof. So social proof is essentially the idea that other people will place your status or your social value higher if they see that other people do the same thing. So for example, if you're ever out at a bar or a club and you have a group of you guys, the more women in that group, the more attractive women can be in that group, the more it signals to all the other women in the bar that you are actually a high status guy that is able to not only attract these kinds of women but also maintain a relationship with them. And so naturally they will all be drawn to you, and this is an incredible trick that you can actually use yourself. If you are friend zoned by a girl, go ahead and see if you can start dating somebody hot or mentioning hotter girls are interested in you and see how they respond. You'll notice that they will actually grasp at you much harder, and this is a really great way to actually turn that relationship around. So really, you just want to surround yourself with beautiful women, with high status men, and with other people by whose association you will also be viewed as high status as well. This is why if you have an online dating profile, which I do not recommend on apps like Tinder and Bumble, a really great way to communicate high status with social proof would be to have photos of you and other women or famous people, things like that, you know? Number 2, you want to cultivate your charisma. Charisma is the ability to charm, attract, and influence those around you. This can be done with things like good storytelling. So become a better storyteller. People love storytelling, and so do women. Storytellers have a way of activating ancient parts of our brain that, you know, hunter-gatherers tell everything in stories. The Aborigines, they have songs that they sing to remember the way that you'll get from one place to another. The mythologies and the folklores of many different countries are really like a map of your psyche, which psychoanalysts like Carl Jung and Freud did realize and actually created a map of it, but it's all based on storytelling. It is the primary way that our brain works, and a really good storyteller is somebody who will be able to influence others, somebody who will be able to communicate deep concepts and emotional realities to somebody else. And so becoming a good storyteller is super helpful. You can go ahead and actually write stories yourself, start creative writing, take a class, learn online, watch stuff on YouTube, and just practice. You know, the more you can talk about sensual experiences like the touch, the smell, what you're seeing and things like that, you know, what you're feeling, the better you will be at storytelling. A story has to have structure, so definitely check it out. Work on this skill for yourself. It will be a game changer. Another thing you want to work on is your humor. Now, a lot of people think you either have it or you don't, and that is correct to some extent, but humor is also a skill that you can learn, right? If you do have a little bit of it, you can develop that into something much better. So being able to be witty, being able to be funny, being able to be playful and teasing is a massive step in the right direction with charisma. And you want to just develop really strong body language. I went through a phase where I dissected my entire body language, and right now every single movement in my body is premeditated. But I will still do my natural cues. Like if I feel a little bit of anxiety, I'll still cross my hands, you know, I'll still be like this because it does release a little bit of anxiety, but I'm very conscious about doing that. In fact, I always know where my toes are pointing. I always know where my feet are placed. I'm always in an open position. I'm always taking up space. And that signals subconsciously to the people around you that you are high status and that you're a cool person. You ever just get a vibe of somebody, like a weird vibe? It's usually because of body language, and women pick that up as well. So don't be weird and creepy. Be a cool guy, have great body language, and cultivate it and work on it. And also start noticing other people's body language. This one is huge. And of course, you want active listening. You want to actually be curious about other people and engage with them at their level and build that deep rapport where People remember you simply by how you made them feel, and usually made them feel about themselves, right? So if you can make somebody feel good about themselves, they will remember you as an amazing person, right? Number 3, pursue high-value hobbies. Now, there's a bunch of hobbies that men have, like, putting together little train sets or collecting Pokemon cards or little toys or trinkets or stamps or whatever it is that are just plain strange, right? They're one of a kind. Some person obviously has a connection to it, but women aren't really into that. If it was up to them, a man would play musical instruments, a man would be a reader, a man would be like a martial artist, so he'd work out, right? So fitness and strength, and also the ability to sing, right, is huge. Photography, right? Some sort of outdoor pursuit where hiking or rock climbing or rafting, kayaking, what have you, all that stuff is very attractive to women. Even like surfing and sailing and building businesses. These are great uses of your time in general. And they won't only communicate as success of women, they will actually communicate into success in your own general life. And this is mainly about archetypes, archetypal energy, like the traditional ones, like the king, the warrior, the magician, the lover. You need to be able to activate and embody each one into your life, as well as things like the wild man, for you to be a truly whole and complete man. And a lot of men are missing 1 or 2 or 3 key points, key archetypal energies. And so if there's a way for you to channel that, like for example, if you aren't connected to the lover and you go to a dance class and you start learning to dance, or you learn to paint, or you start meditating, you'll connect deeper to the lover. And these are also activities that women find attractive, because women are honed in to be always looking for, is this man capable of success? Is this man going to become successful? And if you are signaling with your hobbies and activities that you are somebody who's intelligent, well developed, somebody who has their own life, has their own thing together, and these are really interesting pursuits, you suddenly become a really interesting person to women, to other men, to anybody you meet, and you develop yourself. Number 4, understand and elevate your status. Status is really just the perception of your own individual value within a greater social network. So, for example, there are 3 main things that determine your status. Number 1 is going to be competence, your value. What value can you offer the world, right? Are you a valuable human being? Are you competent at things that people find respectable or people find important? So, value and competence. Leadership. Are you decisive? Are you assertive? Do you know how to lead people and lead yourself, right? Because so many people are not leaders. They've never developed these qualities. And our world right now has a serious deficit of leadership qualities and the king energy. And developing these qualities is definitely a surefire way to elevate your status. And confidence as well. To some extent, we are molding our own reality. So if you determine that you are more valuable or that you have a higher status and you act as if, fake it till you make it, not only will people actually perceive you as such, but you are creating a positive feedback loop where you are telling yourself you are more confident. You are going ahead and doing things that a more confident man would do. Your brain is observing this and saying, I am confident, right? And it just keeps going until you become naturally a very confident person. So these are things that if you know them, you definitely need to use them. Do things like shadow work to uncover any hidden strengths and talents that you might have. Definitely do some archetype work. All of this will really help, but really understanding your status and acting in a way that will increase it is the biggest thing that you could do. And number 5, maintain an air of mystery and exclusivity, right? Not only will this actually just improve how others perceive you, but women love this. Women love a mysterious man. A man who doesn't need the validation of others, because you'll find a lot of the time men who have had father wounds, who haven't really stepped into their full masculine, who haven't become grown men themselves via like a rite of passage initiation, they tend to be people pleasers and they tend to be looking for the validation of others, right? And this is a weakness. It's something that you don't want to have. You want to be able to self-validate. Usually that validation First, it comes from your father, comes from other men. And once you have enough of that, you naturally just validate yourself. But if you've never had that, you will tend to look for validation in others. Now, it's important to learn to self-validate, because if you do, you don't have anything to prove to anyone. You live your life by your own standards, and that is already a high status, respectable man who shapes his own reality. Ultimately, the human being with the strongest sense of reality will be the one who dominates the worldview of the people he's around, merely by being strong, grounded, center in their own sense of being. And people want to gather around those kinds of people. People love mysterious people, and becoming slow and mature, kind of like less a flame, a fire flickering and dancing, more of a strong, powerful ember that hardly moves, right? Because of it doesn't need to. It doesn't need to. It's strong, centered, and is a more condensed, mature form of that. So definitely be more mysterious, be more exclusive, really protect your time, and don't just give it away to anyone. And this will automatically make you appear more cool in front of everyone. People are going to want to spend more time with you because it's so exclusive, right? It's like scarcity. Everybody wants something that's scarce. Putting all of these 5 into practice will make her see you as an incredibly cool guy, but not only her, but other people as well, because ultimately, whether you're a cool person or not is determined within yourself, and then it's determined within the greater social world at large.